This is the start of dismantling the main lower frame of the clock. First of all, the click springs are removed. They have two steady pins that locate them. Then once they're removed, there's the rosette and its screw, and then there are the two clicks themselves. And then there's a spacer washer, the ratchet ball itself, and behind that is a spacer sleeve. That takes us to the back of the winding barrel arbor. The next stage is to remove the upper sections of the frames. They are all numbered. That's 22, 22, that's 11. So everything on this barrel is 1 something. This is 2 something, 3 something, and 4 something. The next components to remove in the frames are the Fasoldt and the state-of-wind indicators. The Fasoldt have a long screw right through to the base. So once they're released, Fasoldt is removed. Same applies to the other side. I'll need to get a better screwdriver. Next items to be removed are the arbors for the state-of-wind indicators. Each of the bearing blocks have 2 screws. The reason for these separate bearing blocks is, of course, when the actual frames themselves are separated, it becomes very difficult to control a frame weighing many pounds and a arbor weighing half an ounce. So we've made these arbors removable as a separate unit without having to split the frames.
Is this your door so you can work?
Shh. That's the last of the 16 screws. So we can take them out. That leaves us with only the main arbors between the frames. The next stage is the actual separating of the frames, and we're using the same eccentric screws as elsewhere in the clock. So this frame is held together that way by 2 eccentrics and 2 eccentrics. Have the first 2 out. Third one out. The reason for using these screws, these eccentrics, are to prevent a multitude of visible screws in the frames. To try and make the frames appear as a single piece casting. That's all for that. So now we set the frame vertical again. And then we should be able to gently tap apart the whole. Actually, what I'll do first is we'll remove the hands and the other. We can't do that, that'll have to ratchets apart. We remove the hands for the state-of-wind indicators. So we proceed to separate the frames. And we can remove the state-of-wind sectors, primarily so that they don't get damaged. And there we have the front frame separate. And we can now remove the winding barrels. As they're overlapping, obviously, there is a sequence to remove them. And that is the winding barrels removed, and then we can separate the cross beams from the main frames. And we have the frames completely apart, which exposes the stockwork. And then the next stage in dismantling the frames is the bottom section should now be free. And that was held in place also by the Fasoldt screws. Now there is a cock that we finally have to still screw on. That's temporarily fixed with adhesive. You'll see that there is a steel plug or dowel, and over there, again numbered, and they hold in the squares that we fit the eccentric screw in. So when the eccentric screw is placed in the inner frame and we tighten it, it pulls this block inwards and locks the whole frame together. So we have the subframes are screwed through 4 screws, and they themselves come off separately, and that gives you the complete disassembly of the frames. Any other dismantling is just normal screw joints. On the state of wind indicators, the gear wheel itself is just a simple screw. To remove the Geneve wheel, you go through the slots into the screws that hold the bearing cartridge in place. So there's 3 screws, and by rotating the Geneva wheel, each screw can be removed. And then the whole cartridge is lifted out. First part to remove the great wheel is the rotating collar, which controls the depth of the bevel gears, of the maintaining power gears. So there's a little locking screw in the collar. Then we have the gear, which is held onto a keyway, always locked by means of a keyway. And then we have a cover. Now this should gently tab out. And that gives us the 3 individual maintaining power bevels and the great wheel assembly. And then we have another spacer, and then we have our barrel. Now the barrel is captive itself on a set of wheels because we have this maintaining power system. So the next stage is to remove the 2 barrel ends. And we should have the winding drum apart completely. The side of the barrel also carries the stopwork pin, as well as the Geneva drive for the state of wind indicator. And the winding drum is screwed together. So there we have our winding drum complete. These two pins hold the weight anchor pins. That's the complete winding barrel.